Berdasarkan survei, memang kalau kita lihat sekarang, China itu katanya sih udah mulai proses recovery ya. Bahkan lockdownnya sudah di-lifted, sudah kembali normal. Dan kalau Indonesia memang akan salah satunya di forecast recovery paling cepat, saya percaya itu, saya yakin. Kenapa? Bangsa kita itu memang semangatnya tinggi. Itu dari sisi positivity-nya ya. Memang pasti terhadap recovery itu akan sedikit melambat dulu. Ibaratnya it's the calm before the storm. Karena apa? Pasti akan ada negative growth dulu, expenses yang harus kita cover, kerugian-kerugian yang harus dikeluarkan dari sisi bisnis saja. For example, you're running a company, kita tetap harus bayar gaji karyawan selama perusahaan masih mampu, padahal productivity sedang menurun. Nah, kalau memang stress testing modeling kita tepat atau seakurat mungkin, kita bisa mempredik kapan kita akan tumbuh lagi. Kalau memang kita bisa predik dengan tepat, ya hopefully that negative growth will pick up. Seperti slide yang saya contohkan grafisnya tadi, kita melakukan satu simulasi di mana kita bilang 3 bulan pertama ini pasti merugi perusahaan. Kita harus siap menerima itu. Trading akan down, jadi kita bilang dampak terbesar adalah 50% dari pendapatan tidak ada, hilang. Tapi kita sudah mengukur expenses karyawan, operating cost perusahaan tetap harus jalan. Nah, setelah itu kita bisa pick up. So yes, there will be a point, there will be negative growth dulu, tapi itu bagian dari recovery. Sama dengan kita apalah sakit ya, sakit ada masa downnya dulu, saat recovery kita makan antibiotik tetap aja masih lemes. Nah, tapi dengan kita lemes ini ibaratnya kita keluar keringat dingin, itu virus keluar. Nah, berarti pemulihan mulai meningkat nih. Nah, itu mungkin yang pertama ya, Pak. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Semangat pagi Apari, Ajibas dan seluruh praktisi industri perasuransian, seluruh profesional yang ada di dunia digital. Selamat siang. Terima kasih sekali lagi kepada Apari yang telah mengundang kembali saya untuk menjadi narasumber di Apari Podcast. Senang sekali bisa bergabung. Terakhir itu 2 bulan yang lalu ya, kurang lebih bulan April. Dan kita bahas masalah sustainability. Dan ini sebenarnya dengan topik hari ini tentang sales juga menjadi kesinambungan bagaimana kita tetap bisa bertahan di masa pandemi yang masih belum kelihatan ujung akhirnya kapan. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Semangat pagi, selamat siang, dan salam sejahtera buat kita semua. Terima kasih Bapak Ibu telah bergabung lagi kembali di Apari Podcast, di mana episode hari ini adalah episode yang ke-21 dalam kegiatan Apari Sharing via daring yang dilakukan secara mingguan dan bagian dari rangkaian HUT Apari ke-27 yang dimulai dengan beberapa webinar sebelumnya dan sudah ada yang ke-1 dan ke-2 terakhir di hari Selasa tanggal 15 dengan tema peranan InsurTech dalam mendukung pemulihan ekonomi di masa adaptasi kebiasaan baru. Dan hari ini bersama saya Riki Natapraja selaku Head of External Relations Department di Apari dengan bangga bisa bergabung dengan Bapak Ibu semua dalam episode berikutnya. Dengan tema Contribution to Support Economic Recovery in the New Normal. If the market was to increase in terms of price, is that directly an impact of the losses related to COVID-19 in direct claims as a result of the pandemic, or is it because capital providers or the insurers that are in the market now looking at this digital transformation, hence the increased investment capital to transform? With the long-term vision that yes, we are going to achieve efficiencies in productivity and sales and coverage by not having so much manual processes but automation, or is it just purely risk-related pricing that's gone up that you envisage? I mean, this is not just to Pavlos but perhaps to Kent and even Prue, from what you've seen possibly in the Australian markets as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'll kick off and hand over to Kent because and Prue, because they'll have their own views, and Kent will have a lot of experience in this because of his background in claims. But you know, it's a bit of both. You know, companies will be investing in digital transformation, but actually, the cost of that is arguably quite small compared to the potential losses if you underprice risk. And what I guess what we need to appreciate is that insurers, and particularly the international insurance and reinsurance industry, won't necessarily be looking at individual domestic markets and pricing accordingly. They'll be looking at the price of risk globally. And at the moment, we're seeing significant increase in rates because of lack of availability of coverage in markets like North America, Australia, Europe. So as a result, insurers are seeing rate increases over there. So when capital's considering where they want to put their money at risk, they'll look to do so where they'll get adequate pricing. And if the pricing isn't adequate in certain markets in this region, for example, the capacity willing to accept risk from those markets will naturally decrease. So I think it's only a natural thing to see an increase in rating in this region as well. And I think it's for the benefit of the overall industry and the whole insurance ecosystem, because we need to have sustainable pricing to ensure a healthy insurance market going forward.
Thanks, Pavlos. Any comments from Kent or Prue on this?
Yeah, I think just a real quick one, and fully support Pavlos's comments. Just a couple of just to add really that, insurers, brokers, reinsurers have been looking at their investments around digital transformation for many years, and it's not risk specific. Yeah, so they don't, when a board or a business looks at the cost, at profit investment, it's taking a long-term view, and it's looking more at operating costs or capital rather than looking at its combined ratio from a pricing perspective. If rates have to go up because of losses or because of market changing events, that's not going to really impact their digital transformation strategy. In fact, even pre, we've had 4 years now, I think 4 years of attritional losses and cat loss have been greater than capital. So the industry has been struggling for many years because of inadequate pricing, but also, in fairness, because of high management expense, 40%. So 40% that Lloyd's underwrote was being spent on management expenses and acquisition costs. So it's not just about, one thing like digital transformation is certainly not why the prices are going up. And even in tough times, businesses are transforming because digital transformation is, yes, it has to be paid for, but it, the key is it reduces that 40% that I just mentioned, right? So operating costs are high, far too high, and digital transformation reduces that 40%, can reduce it quite significantly. So in fact, insurers, my argument would be insurers who digitally transform and execute well will be able to have more competitive pricing because they'll have a better combined ratio.
Great, thank you, Kent. Anything to add, Prue?
Oh, look, I think Pavlos has covered the technical very well, and I agree completely with Kent about capital investment actually having a net present value that is tangible. The only other thing I'd add is, the massive impact of climate change. You look in Indonesia, in Australia, in New Zealand, at the very, very significant catastrophe seasons we've had. This is quite separate from COVID and quite separate from any other capital investments. This is a new normal. The California bushfires are again very similar. And whilst I agree that many of the international players do look at global risk pricing, they are increasingly for catastrophe risk actually rating countries. So for countries such as Indonesia and Australia and New Zealand, this is an ongoing challenge in our risk pricing.
Okay. Thank you, Prue. Okay, allow me just to summarize and to translate in bahasa. Jadi Bapak Ibu, yang tadi disampaikan oleh para pembicara kita hari ini bahwa memang kenaikan harga suku premi ini di market akan naik dan kelihatannya bakal naik, tapi nggak selalu berhubungan dengan risk yang ada. Memang kenaikan premi juga memang berdampak dari beberapa katastrofi yang pernah terjadi sebelum COVID. kita lihat banyak bencana alam, kebakaran hutan di California di Amerika Serikat, dan juga bencana alam di Australia juga terjadi tahun lalu, dan di Indonesia pun kayak tsunami, gempa bumi juga banyak sekali yang berdampak kepada market menjadi makin restricted dan capacity pun menjadi tough. Namun demikian, karena adanya COVID dengan diperlukannya digitalisasi atau transformasi teknologi, maka investasi capital sangat besar bagi perusahaan asuransi untuk meningkatkan kualitas IT atau platform yang digunakan untuk melayani semua stakeholders, customer, broker, dan partners lainnya, sehingga capital investment ini yang dibutuhkan nantinya untuk meningkatkan efisiensi. Mungkin beberapa tahun ke depan efisiensi ini akan terasa dari sisi profitability buat teman-teman di intermediary ataupun di industri, karena percepatan waktu akan membantu penghematan dari sisi operasional dan timing.